Hello, one and all. Manchester United have made it, albeit the scary way, not the one we would have liked to happen, but we've finally managed to get over the semi-final hoodoo. Yes, we lost 3-2 on the night, and I, for one, thought we would have been in some relative trouble after that game. But we did well this evening, got the 2 away goals. It made it a harder task for Roma to get in the match and try to narrow the deficit. And credit where credit's due, David De Gea with a stunning performance for the Reds tonight. Terrific goalkeeping from him. Where would we be without him? Where would we be? Absolutely fantastic. So happy for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, whose first European final in Europe as well, in the competition that we missed out on last season. I was so happy for him and every single one of the boys for their performance this evening, despite losing the game. And to be honest, I couldn't care less if we lost that match. We did the job in the first leg. We secured our goals early in the first half of the second, and with Cavani's double, ensuring our place in Gdansk. We're off to the final. I haven't said that in so long. So let's not waste too much time. I've got to type a few things. We're going to, obviously, if you want to get involved in this show, it's for all fans to be involved with. Join us on the StreamYard link in the YouTube description. It will be there for you to come on in, and I'll put this in the comment section of the chat as well if you wish to join the show. So, without further ado, Alexi Sally's not here tonight. He's a bit busy with uni work, unless he suddenly decides to spring out of the blue. Let's get Perry in. Perry has been waiting very patiently. Hello, Perry, mate. How are you? And please tell me how you feel right now.
Great, yeah. It's the happiest I've been in a few years, mate. It really is. It's only the Europa fight. I'm really happy. I am. It's the best position we've been in for so long, don't you think?
Yes, absolutely. And I, for one, have felt this, a moment of this sort under Solskjaer coming. It was just a case of when was it going to happen? In the end, it did. I think really when we covered this last week, the first leg was really our big success in the end. Our success was the first leg. Would you say that was the case, or based on our performance?
Yeah, definitely. I think tonight was just they let them gas off. I think they knew they was home and dry. Solskjaer surprised me though. He really doesn't want to take any chances, did he? That team was probably a lot of fans of arguably best team with Bailly and Donny in there. But no, I'm really happy, Ahmed. I was going to say Ole's got a lot of criticism the last year and a half, and he deserves this.
Terrific.
He's done so well. Yeah, it is. It really is. I'm really happy for him. And the job isn't done yet. We're going to have a hard game in Poland, that's for sure. If I'm honest, I turned off after the first half. I watched the Arsenal game, and Emery's got Villarreal really well drilled and a really professional team. They see out that Arsenal game pretty easy, to be honest with you. And there's some good players in that Arsenal team, like Aubameyang, Lacazette, Partey, Saka. They're not do you know what I mean? There's some good players, and they didn't even Emery kept them quiet all night. So absolutely. I think we're going to be playing a well-drilled team, and we're going to have to be on our A game if we want to win this cup. It's not going to be. I don't think the Ajax game we had with Jose was easy, but I think this is a tougher game.
Yes, I agree with you. And I, for one, believe we're definitely not going to have as much success in this game as we like to have had in the previous match against Ajax. Different circumstances then. I think we didn't have as good a team that night in Stockholm. This time around, though, we've improved tenfold in terms of, the depth of the squad, the strength in the squad. And with that collective experience of obviously coming up short in 4 straight semis, this being his 5th attempt, he was bound to get it right one way or another. And in the end, he did.
Yeah, we're due a trophy. Like, how many years now for United? Like
4 years, I think it is now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I really hope he gets it, because I think this is what that team's lacking. I think if they do win a cup, that will spur them on, and it's something to build on. Because I think there's that mental block at the minute where we're struggling. Well, the semi-final thing's gone now. We've actually got to a final, and I think we've got enough. We've got some really good match winners, like Cavani. Like, he got so much stick, and I was one of the guys who give him stick when he first came. I was, but he's an out-and-out winner, and for someone like that to be part of the squad is priceless. I think, like, he's done this so many times at PSG, obviously in the Champions League. Pogba, outstanding at international level. Bruno, good for Portugal. We've got some really good players in this squad, and I think we've got enough to see it through. And if we can get the cup and second, like, no one predicted that. Like, I don't think anyone would have predicted Ole would have done that well, considering how we kind of the end of last season was kind of a fight last minute to get top 4, and we got it. And we've had some good form this year. Like, he just keeps grinding out results. Like, I know we lost tonight, but I've been pretty impressed with United this year. I really have. I think it's all clear for everyone to see. We're missing a few players, but we're pretty consistent now, and we're a hard team to beat.
I agree with you, fully. That was a hard, gritty performance, but also we proved in the last few games now, in particular, I think, obviously pending the fact Sunday happened, and we can only deal with what we could deal with then. Tonight, I think it showed that the players are not wanting to say that we don't want to play Liverpool or didn't need to. It showed that we were considerably well worthy of getting a bit of time off because of the schedule that's now fallen on us, especially with what's happened in the last week or so. How important is it now for us to make the most of this and hopefully use the next few games as a way of like measuring who can really step up in the big game on the 26th of May?
Yeah, I want to see Cavani start. I really do. I think this guy will score against anyone. His positioning is 10 out of 10. Like, the guy's 34 years old, and he's still, like, it's his positioning what is everything. He's not the fastest player we have by any means, but it just shows that you don't have to be that young. Like, he shows Martial how to play that role in and out, and Martial should be, well, look, he's a lot fitter and a lot younger than Cavani, but if you're not in the position, you're not going to score. So absolutely. I want to see Cavani start. I really do. I want to see Pogba. Pogba's really impressed me on the left recently. I think he's, since we see him come on against AC Milan and score, he's just been a revelation on that left. Like, he's been unplayable for the last month, I think. I think we all know what it's going to be, don't we? It's going to be Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, Wan-Bissaka, and we can guarantee that McFred will be there. No question about that.
Yeah, definitely guaranteed. If that's what Ollie's intentions are, I'm sure he'll have something to think about in the next 2 or so weeks until May the 26th. But I think really now, in terms of, obviously, you're just discussing team selection. Would you be of the fans that would prefer a much more, reserved team in some games and still play our strongest team in the bigger games towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because if we get any, this is going to be like United all over. We're going to end up getting some injuries, and God forbid, I really hope it don't happen. But he's got to play it safe. Ollie has, and like he don't like changing that team, so he's going to struggle because he's going to. I think he's shown how much he wants this Europa League, like with tonight's team selection. So he's got a tough call to make, but I think we've now got to put all our eggs into the Europa League. I know we want to get second, and worst case we might slip to third if we do end up making some bad team selections. But even if we got third and won a trophy, that's still a progression on the season before.
Yeah, I agree. So, it makes a lot of sense for United to just be a little bit more reserved in the next couple of weeks or so, just so that we secure our spot in the top four. I think we are practically there. I think winning, if I'm not mistaken, because we have a game in hand now, winning against Villa wouldn't necessarily guarantee it. But I'm not sure. We'll see.
Yeah, no, we're pretty much there. But I'm really happy. I really am. I think this is the most we've had to shout about since the sacking of Jose. Not that we all cheered that, but you know what I mean. Since Jose was the last time we actually competed for silverware, and I know we've had a few semi-finals, but it's the first time we've been in the final in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm not over it. Like, obviously, we've seen what Chelsea and City are doing in the Champions League, so I kind of feel, I don't know what the word is, but I kind of feel a bit embarrassed to celebrate the Europa, but I'm not embarrassed because I'm really happy for Solskjaer to prove the critics wrong. Because this time a year ago, it was like he couldn't win any silverware, and it's all just the players doing everything. And if he gets a trophy in second, I'm sorry, but that isn't just the players doing everything.
Incredible. I'm just looking at the United Twitter feed, and it's been a lot of negativity and stuff has been directed at it. But for tonight, I think there's a good excuse just for tonight to look at it. And all the happy little things that come with it, the sight of Cavani celebrations, Ollie's, he didn't look, to be honest, Ollie didn't look like overjoyed at making a final. I think he still knows he's taking it really seriously and wants to just ensure that we've made it now to the final. He just needs to keep the talent, the best talent he can, as fit as possible.
I know.
For now and the end, and May the 26th.
I'm just really happy for Ole. I am. Like, he's a club legend. He won us probably our greatest achievement in our history. Yeah. And for him to come back as a manager and win a European Cup is a great achievement, I think, anyway. It's really, I'm really happy for him. But he's got to get this final. Like, I'm a bit scared if he rests the team, because I think this team is one what kind of is building on the momentum, and is kind of, I'm a bit dubious if he drops the players for a couple games and then we lose that kind of winning momentum role what we're on. So I still think he's just going to go strong team each week and see where it leads him, really. I think it's going to be a good time to rest Rashford for maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
It's a fair shout. It's a fair shout.
When is Martial back?
I think United yesterday released a small excerpt of not videos but pictures, I think, of him training on his own yesterday, doing some running in the open air, because I think he's been doing work inside recently. So that's probably why he hasn't been able to participate in matches or be able to participate in training, as a matter of fact, in the last few weeks. But for what it's worth,
another little thing as well. It's probably not going to happen, but if we win Europa, 5th place gets Champions League, i.e., West Ham are looking likely to get Champions League.
Well, hang on. I just remembered something. Now you've mentioned that we have an All-English Champions League final. The winners of that will go into the group stage no matter what. If we win the Europa League, however, because obviously, the current fourth place team is Chelsea. The only way Chelsea get into the Champions League next season is by winning the tournament. So they can't obviously. I don't think that they would automatically qualify to the group stage as champions. It's a weird situation. It's happened before, though, as I remember, where Liverpool won the competition in 2005, but finished outside of the top four. So it's they had to go through the qualifying rounds to make sure they got into the Champions League the following season. I think this one might just be a tricky one to call, in my opinion.
I want West Ham to get top four because I think Jesse will stay there if they get Champions League football. And
I don't know if
think that increases our chances of hopefully including Rice in some sort of transfer. I really do want West Ham to get Champions League because I think that's going to increase our chances of getting him. And if we can get him in the Sancho this summer, just those two players, this team's going to have such a huge improvement.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's looking promising. I'm really optimistic about. Obviously, we all know everything what's going on with the club at the minute. But I think this team's actually starting to build something. We have some positive news come around Pogba. He's happy. Possibly sign a new deal, depending on what happens this summer. But if we can make a couple of good signings, like we've got a really good team for next year. I think a team good enough to finally compete for the trophy. What the last 2 years, me and you have been talking about, and we've both agreed that we're not there at the minute. We're just a few players away, and I think next year is going to be the perfect building block to actually mount and have a challenge. But it's going to be a hard year. Like as I said, Liverpool could come back. Chelsea, wow, like them under Tuchel look really impressive.
Yeah, I think we've got a tricky few weeks to predict stuff, especially with, as you just said, Chelsea and their running not being so kind to them. I think they have Leicester twice, if I'm not mistaken, because they played them in the FA, in the FA Cup at Wembley and in the league as well. I also have City this weekend, so their hopes of getting in the top four might just be not. I wouldn't say like in trouble because I think that Tuchel may want to rotate 1 or 2 times, but I think if they have the minerals just enough, they'll make it. But for West Ham to get in the Champions League, that's going to be a tricky one because there's a lot of rules to it, as I remember, and I think one of them entails in a team finishing outside the top 4 would knock out the 4th place team. So West Ham wouldn't get in the Champions League anyway. If they finished 4th, it would be horrible. It would be horrible for them if that happened, because obviously we have now got 3 teams in English teams in finals, and one of them is practically Champions League guaranteed anyway. It's a weird one. We may have to do a Let's Talk United on this at some point, and also the stipulations for which team needs what. If you're wondering why I'm looking at the screen, Ollie's on my screen now just talking. And
he looks happy, doesn't he? He looks
I think relaxed is the right word. The man has been under so much stress as Man United manager in the weeks he's been in charge since he came in as interim coach. He's done so much, but take that away from him. He deserves this. He really does deserve this. I just worry now.
It's probably the best place we've been in since Fergie. It is. I know we're not where we want to be. We want to be challenging for Champions Leagues and Premier Leagues, but this is the best. I know Jose got us here, but it was kind of a plaster over the crack. But we can see it with our own eyes that this team is actually we're building on something here. We've got a really good foundation, and we haven't had this for so long.
We haven't, no. And frankly, I think we've got these as fans, those who have stuck with him through the hard times. I mean, the night against Burnley being the peak of that, in my opinion, was ridiculous, to be honest. It's ridiculous. I couldn't, in my wildest dreams, imagine such a thing ever occurring, but it has. And somehow, like in terms of him being manager for much longer after losing to Burnley, now
I really want to see him achieve, because I don't think there's any managers at any clubs, like any previous players, who have gone on to manage the club they played for and be successful, bar Zidane. But Premier League, I can't think of any ex-players who have gone on, and Ole will be the first in our league to hopefully do that. I know it's only the Europa, but he is bringing back
trophy's a trophy.
Yeah. I will be happy if we get it, definitely. Like, really, just more happy for Ole, because he's had so much unfair criticism at times, and he's proved even me wrong. I didn't think he would have been able to get this far. And
I agree with you tenfold. Yeah.
I do want him to succeed. So yeah, really happy.
I wanted to also, because I'm sure, like you, looking at me watching David De Gea tonight, despite the fact he conceded 3 goals, which I don't think really matter in the context of the match itself, his general performance tonight, absolutely outstanding. That's the old David De Gea right there we've seen playing tonight. What a performance from him. Could you sum it up for me, how you felt watching him this evening?
If I'm honest, Ahmed, I never did want to drop De Gea. I still think he is our best keeper, whether that's open to debate. I really like him, I really do, and he's been a great servant. I do think now is the time for him to move on, and I think Dean is good enough to replace him. But I'll always have a lot of admiration for him for kind of keeping us at like above average level during our hardest period, because season after season he saved us so many times, and I'd never turn on him, because let's be real, like the times that we've really struggled, like he could have left and said, I don't want to be part of this, like I've had enough, like this is a like sinking ship. But he stuck with the club, he's persevered, and he's gave us all, and he's a world class player. But yeah, no, I'm really happy to see him. But I think now's the time to move. I do like Dean. Dean's come in, and I do like his presence in the box and his distribution. But shot stopper, I don't think you're going to get any keepers in the world that are much better than De Gea at shot stopping. Like this guy, and reactions, like, and the thing I like about De Gea is he's good with everything, like the feet, like he's really is an outstanding keeper. But I think it will be good to move him on the wages he's on. I think having 2 keepers on 500 grand a week is ludicrous.
Yeah, I said this, Alexi, a week or so ago about this with De Gea. Like, selfishly, like you, it wouldn't have been right to drop him, but it's a huge but. I think generally when you are outperforming your colleague in training sessions and proving to him in even the smaller games that you are ready to take his position at a moment's notice, it did in the end get to the point where he had to either, stick or twist Ollie, and he decided to twist and give Dean his chance. And big credit to Dean. Since he's come in, he's been fantastic in some games. The exceptions to the rule were, I think, the Başakşehir game, and obviously there was a team collective that night that they didn't perform at all well. He's had I think the Man City game we lost 2-0 at home. Not everything was his fault in the end. I think he was unfortunately just part of the side that didn't win the game. Should have won that match in reality. So
I also think Solskjaer has been quite brave in dropping De Gea. He's on big wages. He's Spain's number 1. He's been a great servant to the club for the last 5 or 6 years, and he dropped him for Dean. And he'd done about it in a way what was pretty quiet as well. There wasn't much said or mentioned about it. He seems to have kept the peace. So I think it's a brave move from Solskjaer, and he's done it with other players like Sanchez, Lukaku. Like, he's shown over the last couple of years that he isn't scared to make big decisions, regardless if these guys are on big wages. And yeah, I'm happy with Dean to be the number one. I am, and I do. The thing I do like about Dean is the age. I think it's something we can really build on for this backbone of the team for the next 5 or 6 years with someone, and he's hungry, which is. But yeah, I'd never turn on De Gea. If he was made the number one again, I'd be more than fine with it, just because of what he's done for the club, and he's stuck by us during our hardest times.
I agree. As they say,
After the Madrid scandal, Ahmed, a lot of players would have, like, he just got on about his business, didn't he?
Yeah.
After the fax machine, there was nothing really ever mentioned. He didn't. If you look at Coutinho when he was at Liverpool and Sanchez at Arsenal, and they've kicked up kind of stinks. They've kicked up, like, they've just complained and moaned and sulked. Whereas he's gone about it and he's been a true professional the whole time. He didn't moan or complain that he didn't get his move to Madrid, even though we all knew he wanted it. Yeah. And that's one thing I do respect from him as well. He stood by the club, he respected the decision, and he got on with his work. Which is, yeah, like, yeah, I do like De Gea, but I think it would be a good time to cash in, get some wages off the books, and let's get Sancho.
Yeah, I agree. And I do see it possibly happening if there is a willingness on both sides to deter in terms of making having an agreement and deciding it's better sooner rather than later to let him go and give opportunity to Dean to really cement himself as United's leading keeper. It doesn't rule out the possibility though in future that Dean will have his own similar situation himself. Who knows? I'm not saying it may happen. Who knows? Nathan Bishop may end up one day, getting at him and trying to usurp him as number one. There's potential there, but there's scope for everything to happen. Nothing is ruled out with the goalkeeping situation. So all we can really hope for is that they keep up this momentum, the pair of them, and try to prove to one another that we are better than what we are now, because who knows what may come of it. Also, obviously, the final itself. We touched on it just a moment ago. You were saying that it won't be the easiest game against Villarreal. I'm not going to deny that. I agree. I won't disagree with that point on the basis that United have played against Spanish opposition this season in Sociedad, and I mean, obviously, it was sort of in a similar scenario in terms of like the match we played against them. Neutral venue with sort of away from home anyway. We went there and beat them 4-0, and they were at the time not so much flying high. They were still a threatening team to play against. Nowadays, though, we look at a Villarreal who are just outside the top four. This, for them, is their first European final under a manager who's aiming to win it for the fourth time, has never lost to us in the Premier League in his time as Arsenal manager. However, we have got the better of him in the FA Cup once before with Ollie in charge. What do what are your early thoughts about the final in Gaddafi?
I think it's going to be tight. From what I've seen of them, they look well organised and drilled. They're quite solid. They're hard to break down, and they've got some good attackers as well. And they seem pretty clinical. I still think the hardest game we've had and will be was AC Milan.
Yeah,
I really do. I think we can win this easily if we turn up how we know we turn up. If I'm honest, it was kind of a 50-50. I think a lot of United fans didn't really know who they wanted because we've struggled against Arsenal for the last few years. And Emery is kind of like a Europa specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's going to be easy. I don't know. I know you're a bit more in tune with Spanish football than I am. But yeah, to me, I think it's going to be a hard game. I really do.
With Villarreal, we have one or two, I would say, concerns on the pitch. Obviously, off it is big scope between the two. Historically, we've never done well against them in past weeks. In fact, I think I can, because the system will have updated now. Head to head, I'm sure will come up at some point. But historically, against Villarreal in the past, we've never been good against them. We've never beaten them in Europe. So that's for a start. That's a little worrying. The other thing that I can take into account here is, with it being at away from, obviously being in a neutral venue, United have experience with playing away from home this season. I think Villarreal if I'm not mistaken, Villarreal did not leave Spain once. So who knows, maybe United could be used to the surroundings better in terms of not only the occasion, but the surroundings they're playing in. They've been traveling a lot this year due to the COVID pandemic and the restrictions that are involved.
The only thing I do like in our favour is Ahmed, is we're not very, but we're pretty successful in Europe, and I think we manage big occasions pretty well. I know the semi-finals have been a bit, but United are pretty good in finals, to be fair. Like, I know we have lost quite a few, but generally in finals we seem to come up top trumps. Touch wood. What players do you think we're going to have to watch out for?
Right. First of all, Gerard Moreno, an easiest to pick out. He's their top scorer this season. Double figures, I think. Well, he's exceeded 20 goals in all in club and country just in the last year alone. I think 30 or more including the 2019-20 season. He broke into the national team. He's not a young chicken. He's a veteran of sorts, but still can be a very dangerous player to deal with. They have a couple of former Arsenal and Tottenham players, Etienne Capoue and Francis Coquelin, who both had, the modest spells in the Premier League with those clubs. And they don't play a lot. Capoue doesn't play too much. Coquelin does. And Coquelin, obviously having played against his former club in 2 legs recently, will have enough experience, I feel, to be able to help out in these situations. I don't remember the last time he played against United. It might have been 2017 or 2018 in a game which I think he played, either he won or lost against us. It was one of those games that he played in Ireland. Off the top of my head, he didn't have the easiest night with. But, ex-Premier League players tend to do well. The other obvious option I would want to keep an eye on is the centre-half pairing. The ex-Real Madrid and I believe World Cup winner in Raul Albiol, if I'm not mistaken. He's got great experience. He played for Real Madrid for a number of years and has picked up a lot of league experience as well as national team experience. I believe he played for Spain a few times as well. Pau Torres is the next big thing. We've been linked with him in the windows that are coming up, and apparently we have advanced talks with Villarreal to get him for next season. So if that is the case, we're going to get an upfront. Solskjaer's going to get a very upfront look at him, and maybe we'll cast a judgment on whether United will go for him or not properly in the final, because who knows? He does seem like a very cultured, pace, not very fast, but he's got good pace, cultured, decent on the ball.
I read he was Lindelof with a PhD.
He could be. He's a lot taller than Lindelof as well, actually. A gangly player, but I, for one, think he has he has a lot of good football IQ. And if you have him in your team, I think he'd be great, especially with how the prices that are being touted. He's a lot more affordable than Varane or Koundé is being reported. So Pau Torres is definitely another target. They've got Samu Chukwueze, nice young Nigerian right winger who he's not been transferred in. He's actually been developed in their academy. So this is a player who's been there since he was a young kid from Nigeria and has moved up the rankings. He's not been transferred in at all. He's literally one of those who is Iron Robben-esque in terms of his style of play. Loves to stay out wide, cut inside on his right foot and try and find the corner. He did that a couple of times against Leno tonight for Villarreal.
Yeah, he stood out to me when I watched him. He looked dangerous.
He'll be one. He'll be one for Luke Shaw to deal with, I think.
I was just watching the highlights on BT and literally watching Villarreal defend. They defend as a unit. They're 6 or 7 back on every Arsenal attack, and they're pretty compact and tight. But a lot of Arsenal chances this evening come from headers and crosses, and I think that is somewhere where we're pretty good at. With Bruno loves those diagonal crosses, and I think that will be somewhere where we could punish them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just looking at the setup again. They played 4-4-2 tonight. Another one I forgot to neglect to tell you about is Danny Parejo, who moved from off. I think last season you may have read the story about Valencia and their financial troubles because of the pandemic and Peter Lim's lack of investment in the club. It led to he left his boyhood club to move to Villarreal, and suddenly he's now in a European final. He did play ironically against Arsenal in the last semi-final the two teams had against each other. It wasn't the best night for him. They lost in the second leg 6-3, I think, at the Mestalla. But he's got experience. He played a lot of games in the league. He's also been a Spanish international. He's one of those players who's like David Silva is what he reminds me of. Keeps the ball at feet. Is very composed. Wants to take control of the game. And I think we will have a difficult time with him if he's allowed to determine the course of the match.
It'll be interesting to see how they set up, because this evening when they attack in numbers, and if they do that against us, we know that there's only going to be one winner. But I don't think they'll do that. I think Emery will keep them a lot tighter, and it's going to be a game of few chances, I think.
Well, we can only wait and see. Is the best I can.
They look pretty good on the ball, though. They look good on the ball.
Typically, Spanish teams are good on the ball, and that is regular with watching any Spanish team play against any English team, except for the only reservation would be Real Madrid because of how they played last night. They didn't look anywhere remotely good enough in terms of their general performance yesterday. They don't look like a Spanish team to me.
No, and I think this Europa Cup we really do need it for the team morale and players. Pogba, that may help him sway his decision. Bruno, he's going to be like an absolute revelation if we get this cup, and I think he can build on to become an absolute United legend.
He's a serial winner, Fernandes, and he's done it in Portugal with Sporting. He's told us to say Sporting Club de Portugal because we're not allowed to say Lisbon anymore, so we'll obey his command. He said I think many a time about his experiences over there, winning so much with them, and obviously becoming a club legend in Portugal with Sporting. So, for me, he has a massive role to play along with Rashford, Cavani, Greenwood, and co. to get United over the line. And while, again, like you said, while it is just the Europa League in some cases, this is a final for United. It's 4 years of waiting to just get to one. We've come up short on 4 separate occasions in the last 18 months. So it's a big victory.
Yeah, it may be the Europa, but it's still a European Cup. And let's not get it twisted. Like, there's still not many clubs in our league that have even got a European Cup. Do you know what I mean? So this is still a big deal. And let's get it in the bag. And I think our worst decade as a United club is still a lot more successful than Spurs' best years.
Yeah, touche.
So I think we've got a lot to look forward to. Let's keep behind the team, and it's looking good. I'm really happy, and the 4 of us lifting the cup in a couple of weeks really makes me happy for Solskjaer. Really does, because I think it's something we can build on, and if we can get a couple of good signings this summer, it's going to be the best place this team's been in several years.
Yes, and I'm already nervous. It's not even the day. It's not even the night yet, but I'm nervous already. But you can't blame me or What
it'd
else
just
would
be
they
nice
do?
to see Solskjaer and his signings do well, like Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, Greenwood coming from the academy. It'd be nice to see these guys win something and actually prove the haters and doubters wrong.
And
Because it's going to instill some confidence for the next season, and they're going to know that they can win a good competition. Because the Europa is still a high level competition, and to me, it's a lot more harder to win the Europa than what it is the domestic cups in England. There's a lot more. It's like, look at the teams we've. Sociedad were pretty good this year in the Liga. I know they dropped off towards the second half of the season, but when we actually played them, they was doing pretty good. And AC Milan as well. When we played them, they was like at the top of Serie A. So we've played some good teams to get there, and I think if we, let's fingers crossed. It's looking promising though. Solskjaer's done it with us, hasn't he? He knows how to handle a final. He's been there with United so many times as a player. I think he's going to know how to handle this situation. The thing I like is as well is that we keep coming back, Ahmed. We lose semi-finals, we're behind games, but we keep fighting and we keep spurring on. It would have been so easy for the players to kind of lose faith in the manager after we've lost these semi-finals and kind of heads down, like back up against the wall. But we keep coming back.
Yes,
and to
I
come,
firmly agree.
really happy. Solskjaer's bringing back the old United ways, I think, of hard work ethic, promoting youth. I don't think he stands for much rubbish off the players either. Like I think he's a lot more harder than what people think.
Why is the crossing actually? Because the day of the final was the 26th of May, so Matt Busby's birthday. He would have been, I think, 90 something. I can't remember exactly what, but he would be in his 90s on the day of the final. In 1999, we won the Champions League on the 26th of May against Bayern We're playing on the 26th of May in this year's final in the Europa League. Surely the stars have aligned for United in terms of like the day we're playing in, the opponent being Spanish, and not German, but a very difficult team with a trophy on the line. Like you said, stars have aligned.
I think it's even if this was Solskjaer's last game, I think it'd be so fitting for what he'd done for our club as a player to take us over where we was at. We was in a rut, and to come back as a manager from where he's been and actually win a European Cup for us. I think it means a lot to him as well. I think he loves this club. I think he's a bigger fan than we are. And I think he wants it so bad. I really do. And I'm going to be so happy if we get it for him. And it's going to be a great year. Like second and a cup, if we do get it, that's a great year, like progression. And he's going to struggle to outperform that the next year.
Yes. And my mind right now is in limbo between satisfaction and just trying to tell myself stay calm. It's not yet.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
He's setting the bar high though, Ahmed, which is nice to see for once. Like we've got a manager who's actually creating high expectations, and
yes,
he's doing this year on year. And like I think any manager, whether that's Solskjaer, any manager who we employ at United, if there is progression every year, they should be within a job. I just think that's when their job starts getting called for. It's when we start seeing a lot of drop-offs and there isn't progression. But
as I said a little while ago, we kind of, I kind of said that when the Champions League draw was made, we had PSG, Leipzig, and Istanbul, Başakşehir. Some people can't say their last name. I said it's not going to be easy for us. We've got to get out of the group. When we didn't get out of the group, I said then we have to win the Europa League, because we proved last season at this level we are the best, one of the best teams in it, if not the best. The only reason we didn't win it is because we played quite a poor second game, a first game, one-off game against Seville, and in the end made mistakes that cost us our chance of winning a trophy. So that, coupled with obviously the other two semi-final defeats we had against City and Chelsea, made it a little bit more bittersweet, because we were back in the Champions League, but at the same time, you missed out on something that would have been good for the players and for Solskjaer, which was a trophy. To think now, here we are. We're in now. We've actually made the next step. We're in the final. We have a chance to not only enact revenge as it's against Spanish opposition, because it was Spanish opposition that beat us last season. It's also the fact that we are, despite tonight being a defeat, it's kind of defaulted by our overall victory. We are currently still unbeaten in our last 6 or 7 games. We went on a 25-match unbeaten run, near 30-match domestic run unbeaten, away from home. I think that and the fact that obviously the day we played the game, that's 26th of May, this is basically all the paths crossed again. We are practically in the situation of which, if we are to win this game, we are going to have to play the best football we've played for a long, long time. And we just have to see how we do in our next 5 Premier League games. And I can't believe I'm saying this. They're going to get put through the mill as well against in the next 5, because of the scheduling that's been plighting us, unfortunately.
I think, he's got his work cut out, because, as you said, top 4 isn't guaranteed yet. I know, obviously, it's looking like that, but we've still got to turn up for these games and get something out of them to stay in that mix.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he can afford to have a completely dropped-off team. But I think Solskjaer's going to play his best team all the way to the end of the season now. I really do. I think he's going to probably make a couple of changes to, like, McFred and Cavani. He likes to rotate about with Mason, don't he? But I think that'll be about it. I think the whole base of the team will stay. And I'm really looking forward to this final. I really am. Like, it's something to be excited about. We haven't had it for, as you said, 4 years. That is crazy as a United fan to think we've waited that long to get to a final. But yeah, one of our club legends has been able to do it, which is really happy. I am. If we all want him to succeed, and he's going to silence the critics if he wins this cup, because it's not just a standard cup either. It's a European cup. Like, Solskjaer's going to have won more European cups than what Wenger did under his whole campaign under Arsenal. I know it's only Europa, but they didn't even achieve that. So, it's going to be a great achievement if he does get it. And, come on, 26th of May.
Fingers crossed we get the job done on that night in Gdansk. I am so excited.
I'm already nervous, man. It's just the thought of Ollie holding that trophy up with the club he loves, and he's put so much hard work in. That really just makes me more happy to see him succeed. It really does, because he has really brought back the old United, not the old United, but he's installed what we associate with the club. Like, we see so many similarities now, and I still think he's a great manager. Like, Shaw, wow, like all these players that have improved under him. It's the first time we've actually seen players improve for God knows how long. And like players like him, like Shaw, to come back from where he was left when Ole took over, he was in the gutter with Jose, and Solskjaer's picked him up, put his hand around his back, and look at the player he's become. The best left back in the country at the minute, and I don't think many can really argue with it.
I can't disagree one bit.
It's going to be nice to see players like him if we do get it. Like, we've got to do this final hurdle now, but I think I think we're going to be mentally prepared after losing these semi-finals. I think the players will want to put it right.
Absolutely. All right, back to tonight because you've glossed a lot over the overall performance and all. But man of the match for you?
Cavani.
Can't rule it out, to be honest. He's fantastic.
This guy is like, yeah, look, there were some really good performances. De Gea was really good, but this guy just keeps turning up. Like, it's crazy. And if he does sign this year contract, like, and we do bring in like a right winger or something, our attack is like pretty good for next year. To think that Martial would probably be a rotational player, and I do rate Martial. Like, it's scary good. Like, we've got some good depth, starting to build on it now, which is nice to see. But yeah, he's been a revelation for us since he's come back from this injury. He scored some big goals all season for us when we've needed him. Yeah, really happy for him.
14 goals for Manchester United this season in all competitions. 14.
And they've been big goals as well. They haven't been, a lot of them have been match winners. And he does turn up, doesn't he? Like, he is a great striker.
I can't believe that we were back in October or early October. We were saying, surely we can't not sign anyone, and then bring Cavani in on the 11th hour. At that night, I thought, well, he's here. Just got to give him our support now. Hopefully, he can turn up and perform for us. He's different gravy, honestly.
He is. Gravy. I was really pessimistic when we got him, but I think that had something to do with it reminded me, it was probably the last 3 signing we've got on big wages was Sanchez. And when we got another player who I think we all kind of tarnished him with the same brush of being a money grabber and only in it for the money, which he might well be, but he performs. Like, he really does. And I think he's a great inspiration for Greenwood to see how he plays. And to have him, this is what makes me confident for this final, to have players like him in the squad. I think that confidence passes on to the rest of the team to look up to someone like that leading the line who's been there, done that. I think this is what's really going to help us push along. And I don't think that Villarreal defence is going to be too keen on thinking, well, we've got to deal with Cavani, Pogba on the left, maybe Rashford on the right, Bruno at 10. They know they've got their work cut out.
Mate, fantastic, honestly. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's been a great
Harry,
evening. Yeah,
what a night.
It's been really good.
A pleasure you stick with me for the hour. It's a shame that obviously no one else could come on today, but you've been as good a guest as any, and I look forward to talking to you again on Sunday when after I think I'm going to be here on Sunday. I'm not sure yet, but
I'll pop on, mate. And but yeah, it's been a pleasure, mate. And I'll speak to you on the next review.
Mate, thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon. Take care, Perry.
Cheers, mate. Bye, mate.
Bye. Great to have Perry on there. He is a breath of fresh air to talk to, even on nights when not much is on the line. But ladies and gentlemen, those who have stuck around, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry we haven't had as many people on tonight. It's clear that a few, not as many people we could reach out to. We try our best to encourage all to come on and invite them to make their points heard and give their views on all things United. But yeah, tonight, fantastic for United to make it to the final. Yes, we lost the game, but I was still anxious. Naturally, me being me, I'm anxious for any semi-final. I thought we'd struggle a bit tonight because they had something to play for, Roma, bit of pride, something to hang on to. For them, winning the game on the night gave them something to tell themselves, well, on the night, we were good enough, despite the fact, I had to take off 5 or 6 different players. And we in the end had like a near enough a lot of the fringe players on at the end. But even still, a collective performance in the first half wasn't great. We did have to rely on David a lot in the first half. Got the goal through Cavani before half-time, which helped greatly in our cause to secure our place in the final. Then we had that spell in the second half going 2 goals behind through Dzeko and Cristante. And you're suddenly thinking, oh, hang on a second, this isn't good. Kind of got to, need to quell it a bit. Cavani gets his second, doing what he does best, waiting for the ball to come in and just peeling off the man at the back post on the edge of the area. And he just got every bit of contact on the header to knock it in. Terrific goal. Great Cavani finish. Love this man so much. And like Perry says, if he doesn't get that contract signed, I don't know what we do without him next season. He's definitely got every cause to be at this club next year. For just to be able to sample the feeling of playing in front of fans and getting the chance to express himself in front of us for what it's worth. It would be nice just to see him own his craft for all those to see, and I'd be happy for that to happen. He will probably get the chance in a couple of weeks, in the next couple of weeks when we play against Fulham. Our game against Fulham has been pushed back so that we can push forward so we can play forward or back. I think it's back. Push back so we can have fans in the ground, and it'll be nice to see people there to watch Eddie make it happen against the side he scored against already this season. So fingers crossed. In the end, they won through an own goal from Tellez. The debutant didn't get his goal, sadly. But, 26th of May against Villarreal, I can't say that I'm not nervous now. I'm already 20 days away from the final. I'm already nervous. But I was like this in 2017 when we got to the final after beating Celta Vigo. I was in the same emotion, the same the same anxiety because of the fact we were, having at the time a mediocre season, nowhere near our best, and could have played a lot worse, to be honest. But in the end, we got to the Stockholm, won the match, played a good final, even though to some people's opinion it wasn't the best final. We did what we had to do, got 2 goals up, held our nerve, and won the title. And you know what? Great. Win this one, and we go into next season, hopefully with a bargaining chip for the likes of Pogba to stay, as insisted by our guest tonight. For Pogba to stay, for United to get the transfers they need sorted, prepare for next season. We'd have a Super Cup game against Chelsea or Manchester City if we win the Europa League. So we'd have a big game at the start of the season anyway. So no matter what the Premier League schedules, we go to Belfast in August if we win this competition and have a chance at winning a European trophy. That's, fingers crossed and all. That's all I can say on that front. We just need to get there first. We need to win this final. This is Ollie's best chance at a trophy for the last 18 or 24 months he's been in charge now, near 24 months. He deserves this chance. He's earned this chance. The players have given everything for him. They deserve almost as much credit for getting him there as Ollie does. And collectively on the pitch, with all the troubles that we've had off it, all of the disgraceful things that have happened to us as fans in the last 10, 12 days, and the fact that we defied, their authority just a bit by, imposing ourselves on where we belong, I think this is a perfect tonic tonight for what hopefully will be a brilliant finish to what's been a tricky season with highs and lows all over the place. Yeah, Cavani, man of the match. I look forward now to seeing how we play against Villa on Sunday. I would not be surprised if Ollie goes with a team that isn't as strong as the one tonight. But to be honest, I wouldn't be half-assed now with Sunday or with Fulham or Wolves. I think only Leicester-Liverpool being the serious games we have left. Those two I'd really be interested to see. And to be honest, football for us doesn't, as United fans, ain't going to stop. We've got tomorrow and Saturday off, Villa on Sunday, Leicester Tuesday, Liverpool Thursday, and then Fulham on the Sunday, on the Tuesday week after that. So what an intense schedule for these boys. But hopefully they get the rest they need in the time between now and the end of the season. Results for us matter little. Fulham may have something to play for when they come to Old Trafford. Who knows? But for me, that's it. I've been an hour on this for an hour now, but I'm happy to have talked to Perry for a while. We will get more thoughts on this I hope, on Sunday night. We're going to do a Sunday night show, not a Sunday afternoon show after the Aston Villa game because of prior commitments. I have to do something on Sunday. So we'll do a 7 p.m. show on Traffic Talk. If you want to come and catch up, we'll catch up with all of our usual guests. We'll probably do a group chat, talk about all things about the game on Sunday and on other matters at hand. So do join us if you want to. And if anything, and other than that, I guess that's it for now. We don't have too much else to talk about tonight. If you did enjoy the show, like button is there. Please give us 10 likes. I appreciate that. I'm sure everyone else would. Also, if you do have, interest in what we do here and the scope of the stuff we have arranged for this channel to hopefully thrive in the future, the subscribe button is just down to your right hand side. Please subscribe, and we'll get as much content out as possible. We're hoping to be able to do it more daily in the future, but lots of things are going on right now. Exams, scheduling. I'm a commentator. I've got matches to commentate on and prepare for, but we'll do as much as we can to get content out for you. But that's it from me. United are through to the Europa League final, the trophy I wanted to win after we got knocked out of the Champions League, over the FA Cup and over the League Cup, because it's a prestigious trophy. It's a trophy that should have more respect. It deserves more respect. I don't know why it doesn't get it, but you know what? Once you win it, you have that thrill of satisfaction that not many others can say they've had. We've won both European Cups. We're now out to go and do it again and to give Solskjaer something to prove for his hard work and efforts. We go out now, all guns blazing, to get our spot back on our perch. We're nearly there. Just one more game. Still got a few more in the Premier League to deal with first. Thanks, everyone. Take care, and I will see you on Sunday night. Until then, take care and good night.